Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 7 German cruiser, Yorck. It has 8 main guns, 8 secondary guns, 36 AA guns, 12 torpedoes, a top speed of 32 knots, total health 27,200. For my modules, reduce crit chance on main battery, increase main battery accuracy, reduce flood and fire chance, faster rudder shift. And for my commander, situation awareness, faster turret traverse, lower cooldown on damage control, and last stand. We are on the map Fault Line, and the Yorck is as bad as you've heard. Unfortunately, it's just the truth. The Nuremberg is a fantastic Tier 6. Great rate of fire, 155 or 150 caliber guns, so it benefits from the advanced firing training and basic firing training skills. But the Yorck 210 caliber guns does not benefit from those particular skills. I respect it for this particular ship. And the gun traverse is awful. Can't say it any more than that. It is constantly the issue that I have whenever I'm trying to kill a target. I cannot transition the gun as quickly as I would like. If you try and change your angling, maybe you change your course, it's very hard to maintain that damage like you could in any cruiser, any other cruiser than the Yorck. About the only cruiser that feels like this is the Furutaka, and oh gosh, that was bad, right? We don't want to go back there. Please, please don't do it. So, we are, of course, on the western side of the map. We're headed out, and yes, I do have last stand. I swapped that out with advanced firing training. I felt like advanced firing training was great for a ship with a caliber 155 and below, but nearly useless in the current meta of the game. There's just very few aircraft carriers that you ever run into, and it makes missions where you have to kill aircraft very difficult. I think everyone has the 100 kills on aircraft mission, and oh boy, it's going to take me so long to kill scout planes and escort fighters to accomplish that mission, because that's what it feels like right now. We see the enemy Gnivny. We fire on his position. We lead him just a little bit too much. Looks like we thought he was a higher tier ship. He's not quite as fast as you thought, Notser. We are not going to make that same mistake twice. We have our guns reloaded, but an island is in the way, so we must pass it. Most of my team appears to be at the base, though, with about 4 on the eastern side of the map. So, we got to be a little bit careful. He sends out his torpedoes, but he's a Soviet destroyer. They don't have a lot of range. He shows back up. He's not particularly using his smoke to his advantage. First shot from my ally takes out his propulsion. He's got to use damage control. Don't believe he has it, though. I think he used it earlier. So now he's a slow ship in the water, and we're going to try and exploit this. We barely miss. With all but one round, it would have done so much damage if that would have landed, but it doesn't. Another enemy destroyer, a Clemson, shows up, but our focus is the Tier 5 Soviet destroyer. And we land something. Don't know how much damage we did. We caused a fire. He can't put the fire out, obviously. He's already used damage control. And he keeps showing up. He must be sitting on the other side of the smoke, which is going to be his downfall. A destroyer out in the open, dead in the water, is a dead destroyer. It's just a matter of time, and we're able to incapacitate what guns he had left at the back of the ship. He can't return fire. Not that he is trying. I believe he's trying to hide, but it's just not being successful. And he drops off, but he comes right back. We fire a lead, believing that he would start moving a little bit, which he kind of does. We're able to do 1,400 points of damage. The fire is put out. 14 health. Take him out. And the friendly destroys the enemy destroyer. He sets us on fire, but we use damage control on it. Remember, we have last stand, so we can be a little bit more aggressive using damage control on fires and floods. We don't have to rely on it to get us out of a jam. Last stand is getting us out of a jam by preventing us from completely being dead in the water. Enemy Clemson is appearing. He has very short range torpedoes. He's only a tier 4, so this is well overmatch. 2,300 points of damage, cause a fire. He's trying to kill a friendly. We're almost going to be ready to go. We reload, and we're going to fire on this guy. It looks like torpedoes might get in the way, and we take him out. Friendly is able to do most of the damage. We just are the last shot that actually makes contact with him. Enemy cruiser is in position, about 10 kilometers out. Easy shot, right? Well, what's not easy is the turret rotation. You could see front guns are rotating right, back guns are rotating left. Everyone loves this gun rotation, right? It's just one of those things with the Yorck. You can't maneuver that well. You have to consider every single turn you make, because it's going to take the ability of your ship away from firing on the enemy, and an enemy Omaha shows up much closer than the enemy Cleveland. We're going to change targets, of course. Don't make it harder than it needs to be. Pick on the closest target that is the easiest to kill. The Omaha, tier 5, 8.7 kilometers out. We fire off the last remaining HE to switch to AP. We get 5,700 points of damage. We also cause a fire. He puts out the fire, though. But we know that damage control is down, and he is susceptible to any fires from here on out. AP is loaded, fire, 4,000 points of damage, and a harsh angled ship. I'll take that. It could have been better if he wouldn't have angled his ship as much, but 4,000 with that kind of angling, perfect. We fire again, and we take out the enemy Omaha. That was pretty. 2 citadels, way more damage than his remaining health pool. And now we're transitioning straight to the enemy Cleveland. He is further out, but he is broad just like the Omaha. An easy shot if I can land it. And I cannot. I underestimated the amount of angling that he was doing. And another enemy Omaha is coming into range, so we're going to transition to the closer target. This being an Omaha. He set on fire 3 fires already. Not a good day for the Omaha. We miss with our AP, but as he gets closer and closer, and we're going to try and assist this by moving closer to him, it's going to be an easier shot for our ship. He puts out the fires. Damage control is down for him, and we're able to land a citadel penetration on the back. 7,500 points of damage. Can we finish him off with this salvo? He is, of course, set on fire from a friendly, but that's not important. We miss. He's moving away slightly. We need to compensate by elevating those guns. And we led. Looks like most of them are going to harmlessly pass by. Only one makes contact. Friendly follows up and finishes off the enemy Omaha. New Mexico is in range, much closer than the enemy Cleveland, so I'm going to fire AP at him. This was honestly just a test. Let's just see how much damage we can do. 1,700. It's okay. We have to avoid the island, of course, so now we're going to lose access to our back guns. And we don't want to have them rotate too far over to the left side of the ship, the port side. That would be terrible. We would have to spend a lot of time waiting on our ship, so we try and bring it back as soon as we can to make sure that those back guns are still in position. And AP's doing alright damage. I don't know if it's better damage than using HE and getting fires, but it's alright damage. It's chip damage on the enemy New Mexico. And we do nothing with that shot. We do, however, change our reticle to target the Cleveland, and we fire what we believe is enough lead to land at the waterline on the Cleveland. It's a little too high, but we do get 4K damage, which is really nice. Commander Bunny, I'm sorry, but we must terminate you. Another target. Oh, glorious. All 8 rounds land on the target, do 10,000 points of damage. Can we finish off? Commander Bunny. Another waterline shot as he's moving away. 3,000. That's alright. It's a Cleveland. He's at an angle. Clevelands are notorious for their armor and the ability for them to ricochet AP. Still ineffective. Now it's an extreme harsh angle, very difficult. And Commander chooses to turn in. This will assist us a little bit. We completely destroy one of his back guns. Alright. Can you soften your angle further, Mr. Bunny or Miss Bunny? I would love to be able to penetrate your ship's side and kill you. Looks like they're going to run into each other. Headed straight for. He's avoiding, maneuvering. We do have an enemy battleship on our port side. We got to keep that in mind. And yep, he slams into it, dead in the water, nearly. We assume that they're going to angle a little bit towards us, and we're going to get an easier penetration on the side. And we don't. You can see good aim, but not good angling. And the angling is really what dictated that low roll. But he's showing more of his side. Nearly identical, and most of that was really bad. Another, even softer shot. This has to be it. I don't even need to look. I feel like he's dead. We're going to set up a torpedo, and yes, he's dead. The ship is either dead in the water, AFK, firing on something. I don't know. I send out torpedoes just trying to help finish off the ship. Honestly, looking back on this, probably didn't need to do that. The guy's probably going to die to everyone, but, you know, whatever. Yeah, I basically took health away from a ship that was already dead. It was torpedoes. It didn't take away from my ability to fire on the enemy, which we're using AP. We're going to try AP at the waterline on an enemy New Mexico. If I were to use anything other than German torpedoes, then it'd be taking away from my damage capabilities. Ah, yes. Confederate. It would be taking away from my damage capabilities, but I use German torpedoes maybe once every 20 games, so this has been a really weird game. I've been very far forward and completely ignored until now. The New Mexico is looking right at me. For some reason, nobody wants to fire on my ship. I've sailed through all of the enemy, and none of them have really wanted me. Am I invisible? You could see he's tracking something. I believe he's tracking me now. Are you finally going to fire on the closest target who is lighting you up with HE? Yep, he does. Yep. We have good angling. HE is super effective. We swap back to it because AP just wasn't doing damage. He puts out the fires, but you can see where we're aiming. Top of the hull, and we want the superstructure, the center superstructure, to sail into the round. It does massive damage. We considered our torpedoes, but he's just dropping so fast that we should be able to finish him off with this salvo, and we finish off the enemy. There's only one enemy destroyer left. Complete stomp. And it feels great to be one of the leaders on the west side for that stomp. Me and that destroyer, I believe we lived the entire time. I'm not 100%. I hope he did. We were able to push the tempo of the game and completely blow up any strategy by the enemy. Now, there's an enemy destroyer. Never gonna find him, right? He's somewhere on the map. We're gonna just head towards B, see if we can capture it and end the game. This is one of those situations where let's just get out of the game. We've got plenty of success. Might as well end it as soon as we can to move on to the next game. Now, you might look at this and say, Notser, the Yorck looks pretty good, but you'll also notice I took minimal damage. Oh, that destroyer got a kill. I took minimal damage. I was the closest target to the enemy, and yet they refused to fire on me. I don't get their logic. As a German cruiser, you cannot afford to take damage from the enemy. You need to focus on doing damage and having battleships and heavy cruisers tank that damage. We got Confederate, 5 kills, a torpedo kill, 3 Citadel, 1779 base XP. Pretty good, pretty good. 90,000 points of damage. Most of this game was just the target selection of the enemy. You're not going to get that lucky most of the time. I hope you enjoyed this game. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.